Texas A&M University has a substantial library system, unlike most libraries that first-year students are used to. After watching this tutorial, first-year students will be able to identify all Texas A&M libraries located in College Station. They will also be able to identify where to receive help in the library. Finally, first-year students will be able to locate Sarah Lemire, the first-year experienced librarian. Besides books, the university libraries are probably most well known for providing space to students. Maybe you find yourself needing a place to study or nap between classes. The library has a place for you. Needing a bite to eat? There are locations to purchase food in the library, and you are allowed to bring in your own food. However, students may not be aware of the extensive services and resources besides books that the Texas A&M libraries can provide. It is important to note that these resources and services are here for you to use at little to no cost. Did you know that there are 5 libraries here on the Texas A&M campus? Each of the libraries provide different services to various student populations. For the next few moments, we will review all 5 libraries and their unique services and resources. First, I will start off with libraries that you may not be as familiar with. Located on West Campus, the Business Library and Collaboration Commons provide services to Mays Business School. Therefore, their resources are focused on business research. Students also have access to group and individual study spaces, open access computer labs, and printing services. This library even has a walk-in writing center. There are 5 different librarians, each with a different focus. Also located on West Campus, across from the Business Library, is the Medical Science Library. The Medical Science Library serves several different undergraduate, graduate, and professional programs. To name a few, Agriculture and Life Sciences, Medicine, Nursing, Pharmacy, and the School of Public Health. There is even a special collection for veterinary research located upstairs. In addition, the library serves as a resource library within the National Library of Medicine's National Network of Libraries of Medicine. The Policy Sciences and Economics Library is located on the first floor of the Annenberg Presidential Conference Center, also on West Campus. The Annenberg Center is part of the George Bush Presidential Complex. It neighbors the George Bush Presidential Library and Museum and the Allen Building. This library contains a vast collection of materials for students who have an interest in political science and economics. Not only do they have great study spaces, but there is an excellent view. Even though the business, medical science, and policy and economics libraries are targeted towards specific programs, all students are welcome to utilize the space and services provided. The Cushing Memorial Library and Archives contains rare books, manuscripts, and special collections. Now, some may think that that just means really old books, but the Cushing Memorial Library contains some really cool items, such as the oldest Aggie ring and the Game of Thrones collection. You can also find archives that detail the history of Texas and Texas A&M University. These are just a few examples of the special collections at Cushing. Also available at Cushing are study spaces, the reading room, and finding aids to assist you. These archives and collections lead to much more in-depth research. The Evans Library and Annex contains the main collection and course reserves. Can't find a book that you need? You can request it through the interlibrary loan or suggest that the library purchase the book. If your instructor has placed materials such as textbooks, articles, notes, or previous exams on reserve, you can review this material as well. If you need a place to study, the library has it. Students can work together in the group study spaces or individually in a private workspace. The library also holds quiet floors for silent work. If you need to work on a computer and do not have one readily available, the library has open access computer labs. They also have laptops and tablets available to rent to students. There are 2 writing centers available on campus to help you with all of your writing needs. The Business Library and Evans Library Writing Centers will help you with any kind of writing or public speaking assignments. If you are unable to make it to campus, you have the option to submit work online or book a web conference session. Please visit writingcenter.tamu.edu to learn more. Do you need to print? No worries. There are available printers, scanners, and open access computer labs all over the libraries. In addition to computers, laptops, and tablets, the library offers media equipment rental. Recording equipment such as cameras, tripods, and microphones are available for renting out so that you do not need to purchase your own equipment. If you are producing a podcast or a video, the library has studio space that you can use as well. The Texas A&M library system has over 90 librarians. One of these librarians is Sarah Lemire. Sarah is dedicated to helping first-year students get acclimated with library resources and services.
Howdy! My name is Sarah Lemire, and I am the first-year programs coordinator here at the Texas A&M University Libraries. My role here at the libraries is to support first-year students and help them be academically successful. And I do that through two different things. I help students know about the resources that are available here at the university libraries, and my other job is to teach students how to actually use those resources. Most of the time, our first-year students are coming in with experience using smaller libraries like high school libraries and public libraries, but they may not have a whole lot of experience with big kind of resource-filled libraries like Texas A&M's. So they may know that we check out books, that you can download resources from a database, but they might not know, for example, that we have things like our multimedia studio. So when a professor assigns a project to record a video or maybe a podcast, they might not know that there's a place to go in the library where you actually have a green screen room and you have audio and visual equipment that you can use, as well as help to actually use that equipment. It might not be the kind of thing that you think about specifically when you're thinking about libraries, unless you've experienced that kind of library before. The second part of my job is helping students actually use library resources. What this often means is that I help students learn how to do research. For example, I work a lot with students in classes like English 104, where they have to do an annotated bibliography and a research paper. And one of the things that I help students with a lot is figuring out how to find a topic that's the right size for their paper. Often a student will come in with a topic that they're really passionate about, like the rising cost of college tuition, but their professor's telling them that it's too broad. One of the things I could do is sit down with that student and talk about why that topic is too broad and actually look at some different ways that you could narrow down that topic. Another common thing that I help students with is finding sources for their paper. A lot of times library databases can be a little bit tricky to navigate. Either you find absolutely nothing on your topic or you find way too much stuff. So one of the things that I do is I help students figure out how to navigate those databases so that they find the right amount of information, but also just the right information. Sometimes your professors might ask you to find things like scholarly sources, and you might not know what a scholarly source is, or you might know what it is, but not necessarily how to tell which ones are scholarly, and I can help you figure out what kinds of sources exactly your professor is looking for. Or maybe they need a really specific piece of data, like the number of veterans using the GI Bill in Texas in 2018, and I can help you figure out the best place to find that kind of information, the most authoritative source for that. And sometimes students just need a little bit of help at the end of their project when they need to cite those sources correctly. Some professors can really just end up being a little bit of a stickler with things like capitalization and commas, and citation generators will really only get you so far. So one of the things that I do is I help students figure out how to actually cite those sources correctly in the citation format that you're supposed to be using, so you don't end up losing points for commas and capitalization, and you can really do your best work. If you'd like to meet with me to get help learning about library resources or to get help with that research assignment, it's pretty easy to do so. All you have to do is email me or ask for me at any of our Ask Us desks. Thanks and Gig'em.
So far, we've discussed mostly resources that are available to students when they are physically on campus. But what happens when you are not on campus and you have an urgent question? The great news is that you can still chat with a librarian. Through the chat box, you can gain some clarity on a research topic, find available resources, or get help accessing articles. First, you will need to visit our library's website at library.tamu.edu. Next, you will scroll over to the right corner of the page. Double-click on Help. You see all of the options that you have. You can call, email, or text. Click on Chat with Us, and it will take you to the chat box. You will first be prompted to enter your name. Next, ask your question. There is a live librarian waiting on the other end to assist you with your research or general needs.